Hi guys, today I want to share some of the benefits of using spore-based probiotics for immune health. So a few years ago, I was introduced to spore-based probiotics and brought them into my practice, and it's been pretty remarkable to see the shift that has occurred since we have brought those in and are using those with clients. So let me explain a little bit about the difference between a typical probiotic and a spore-based probiotic. So typical probiotic, not that there's anything wrong with it, but you're typically working with a handful of probiotic strains. And then the question has always been the survivability of these strains through the digestive tract. You know, is the stomach acid killing off these strains? I know oftentimes you'll see some of these probiotics, refrigerated in the store. And it's always kind of the question is, if they have to be refrigerated, how in the world are they going to actually survive the stomach acid in the intestinal tract? So they're very fragile. So on the other hand, working with a spore-based probiotic, these spores are actually dormant. So they're organisms that are dormant. They've actually found them in fossilized bees. And so you don't have to worry about the survivability piece, because what happens is when you ingest these spores, they actually germinate in the intestinal tract and communicate with all the organisms in the microbiome, and they get the good ones to thrive and the bad ones to behave. So just a much broader impact than just working with a few strains that we hope will survive. The joke has always been with some of the traditional probiotic strains is if somebody really has some gut dysbiosis or a gut that's really out of balance, is it kind of taking a squirt gun to a fire, where you're really not having that much of an impact when there is a lot of imbalance going on. So we have to look at the little broader picture, and the spores really help us have a much greater influence with the gut microbiome. So just wanted to explain a little bit about what the spores are in the first place, and how just going to grab a probiotic off of the grocery store shelf or wherever may not be as helpful as we would like for it to be, just because it doesn't have this broad impact that the spores do. So that being said, I wanted to share some of the benefits of working with the spore-based probiotics. So one of them is immunomodulation, meaning it helps to modulate or balance the immune system. It also helps with microbial diversity. So going back to getting the good guys to thrive, the bad guys to behave, when we get exposed in nature to some of the other organisms that are beneficial for us, it gives us a much greater ability for those organisms to thrive in that environment when we're working with those spores. Then we've got protection against infection. So when we have that microbial diversity, which is really what we're aiming for, it really creates an environment that's unfavorable for those pathogens to take hold. And so it creates an environment that's difficult, much more difficult for an infection to take hold in the first place. And then it also increases nutrient absorption. So all of the good things that we're trying to do with good nutrition and supplementation can actually be beneficial, because the gut microbiome can then actually absorb the nutrition and the supplementation that we're introducing to our bodies. And then last but not least, it improves the digestive health. So we know that there's kind of some estimates between 7 and 80% of the immune system is in the gut. So it's really critical that we're doing everything we can to make sure that we don't have a gut microbiome that's overgrown. It has an overgrowth of pathogenic organisms that really can be problematic. And so we want to make sure that we're able to digest our food and nutrition properly, and that we get all of these amazing benefits that we can from the spore-based organisms. So if you have a question about this, please feel free to reach out. These really have been a game changer in our practice. There's a couple of different ones that we work with that really are fantastic and can be an amazing support to your system overall as we're entering this season of vulnerability. So hope that was some helpful information for you. If it was, please like and share this video. Health and happiness. Have a super fantastic day. Thanks so much.